Good morning, everyone. If you'll please take your seats, we'll get started. Good morning. My name is Greg Mays, and I am the Director of Homeland Security for the state of Tennessee. On behalf of the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security, I would like to welcome you to today's 3 Stars of Tennessee Awards and First Responder Recognition Ceremony. We are approaching the 20th anniversary of the terrorist attacks of September 11th, 2001. At this time, I would ask all attendees to please silence their cell phones. This ceremony is being videotaped and live streamed on the Department of Safety and Homeland Security's Facebook page. Photographs are being taken and will be made available to all of the attendees, and additional photographs may be taken after the ceremony. At this time, I would ask that you would please stand for the presentation of the colors presented by the Tennessee Highway Patrol Honor Guard. Advance the colors. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Retire the colors. Thank you. Please be seated. I would like to welcome our honorees and guests, and I'd also like to thank the Hermitage Hills Baptist Church for letting us use this wonderful facility today. Today we will have 2 ceremonies where we will recognize Tennesseans who have dedicated themselves to public safety. The first ceremony will be for the recipients of the 3 Stars of Tennessee Award. This award recognizes law enforcement officers, firefighters, and first responders who have died or suffered a career-ending injury in the line of duty. The second ceremony will honor public safety officials selected by their Homeland Security districts or their state agencies who represent outstanding law enforcement and first responder personnel who work tirelessly to keep Tennesseans safe. There are too many special guests in attendance today to recognize everyone individually. However, we have elected officials here, public safety leaders, and most importantly, family members in the audience, and we thank each of you for attending. I would like to introduce you to the leaders seated here in the front of the room. Governor and Mrs. Bill Lee are here, Senator Becky Massey, and Commissioner Jeff Long from the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security. And at this time, I would like to introduce Commissioner Long, who's going to say a few words. Prior to being appointed the Commissioner of Safety and Homeland Security, Jeff Long was elected Sheriff of Williamson County in 2008. He's a graduate of the University of Memphis with a Bachelor of Arts degree in Political Science and he has a Doctor of Jurisprudence from the Nashville School of Law. He served in the criminal justice field for the past 48 years. He's been an assistant district attorney, a special agent in charge with the TBI, an investigator with the 21st Judicial District, an arson investigator with the Fire Marshal's Office, and many other positions held in law enforcement. Throughout his career, Commissioner Long has received numerous awards and special acknowledgments, including a commendation from FBI Director William Sessions and the 2013 Tennessee Sheriff of the Year Award. He's a past president of the Tennessee Sheriff's Association, a current member of the National Sheriff's Association, and a current member of the International Association of Chiefs of Police. In 2014, Governor Haslam appointed Sheriff Long to the Peace Officer Standards and Training Commission, and he was appointed as the Commissioner of the Department of Safety and Homeland Security by Governor Bill Lee immediately after the governor was sworn in January of 2019. Commissioner Long resides in Williamson County with his wife, and they have 2 children and 5 grandchildren. Please welcome Commissioner Long.
Thank you, Greg. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here with us on this special occasion to recognize our brothers and sisters in law enforcement and first responders who have made that ultimate sacrifice. It's my honor today to get to do the introductions, and the first is the person who is responsible for this ceremony. Senator Becky Duncan Massey was elected to the 6th Senatorial District in a special election in November 2011 in Knoxville, Tennessee. She serves as our chairman of the Senate Transportation and Safety Committee. She also serves on the Health and Safety Committee. She previously served as the secretary for the Senate Republican Caucus. Giving back to her community is very important to Senator Massey. She has served on the board of directors of the Akima Club of Knoxville, the Big Brothers Big Sisters, Overlook Center, Sertoma Center, and the UT Knoxville Alumni Chapter. Growing up in Knoxville, her entire family, the Duncan family, was always participating in ways to help others. Being a public servant was instilled in her mind at a young age. Her late father, John J. Duncan Sr., served as mayor of Knoxville from 1959 to 1964, and as U.S. Congressman from 1965 to 1988. Her brother, John J. Duncan Jr., followed in their dad's footsteps as U.S. Representative in Washington for that region. Retired Judge Joe D. Duncan is Senator Massey's uncle. This ceremony has been a long-standing tradition in the memory of September 11, 2001. Senator Massey spearheaded legislation to recognize law enforcement, firefighters, and medical first responders who were either killed or suffered a career-ending injury in the line of duty. The law that she had be enacted, Tennessee Code Annotated 4-1-501, allow for the 3 Stars of Tennessee Award passed during the 2014 session. It is my honor to get to introduce to you Senator Becky Massey.
Thank you, Commissioner Long and Mr. Mays and Governor and First Lady. Thank you for being here and for your support of this important ceremony. This is the 8th year that we have given out these awards. And of course, it's always my prayer every year that we have nobody to give it to. But when we do, we want to honor their next of kin and honor the memory of the individuals that have given their lives for Tennessee. Just a little bit about the history. My youngest daughter and granddaughter live in Austin, Texas, and I was visiting them there in real near September 11th of 2013. And I had gone and visited this one church, and they go, Governor Perry was here this week presenting the Star of Texas. And of course, like any curious person, I Googled it and looked at it, and it was similar to what we ultimately came up with. And I thought, ooh, this is cool. And so went back and started talking to my law enforcement, my firefighters and folks, and they said, no, we do not have anything like this at the statewide level. So then I met with former Commissioner Perkey, who is here with us today, and his staff, and they said, ooh, can we have it? We do this awards ceremony honoring our outstanding people from each of the kind of certificates of merit from each of the Homeland Security districts, but this would be something special to add to this ceremony. So that was kind of how it was birthed. You know, Texas would not exist without Tennessee and our support. You know, I always say they have 1 star, we have 3. One of our renowned Senate historians, Senator Frank Nicely, told me one time Tennessee used to have 4, but we did give 1 star to Texas. I don't know how valid that is, but it makes sense anyway. So I came back. Representative Ryan Haynes, who served in the House at the time, and he co-sponsored the bill with me. And what's interesting is to show you how important the legislature felt this was. When we have resolutions that people vote on to honor people, it's not uncommon for everybody, just all members, to sign on as co-sponsors. But bills, you don't see it. Every single member of the General Assembly signed on as a co-sponsor of this legislation, and because they realized how important this was for us to enact this award that, you know, will go on and on for a long time. You know, Commissioner Long pretty much told you how it ended up, you know, as far as who we honor. And, you know, I know this past year or two has been a really trying time for the men and women that serve in law enforcement, peace officers, and first responders. Between tornadoes and the bombing at the AT&T building, to flooding, to rioting, we've had, you know, there's been, besides the normal everyday stresses, there's really been extra has been asked of these folks that keep us safe. And I think it's just real fitting that we're here today. Scotty, Ronnie, Jeremy, Anthony, Ray, Toby, and Bobby. How do I describe these people? Friend, husband, son, courageous, strong, trustworthy, servant, protector, America's finest, negotiator, enforcer, selfless, dedicated, but the one that best fits is hero. Every day in Tennessee, brave men and women put on their uniforms and report for duty with the knowledge that they may pay the ultimate price to keep our community safe. Today, we are honoring the sacrifices made by these 7 Tennessee heroes. No words can adequately express our gratitude and admiration for these brave men who dedicated their lives to selflessly serving others. Families, I want you to know we will never forget. And the 3 Stars of Tennessee is just a small token of our appreciation. Thank you.
We're honored today to have as our keynote speaker Governor Bill Lee. Before I introduce the governor, I would like to recognize First Lady Maria Lee, who works tirelessly across this state on different projects that she has, and let's recognize her. Governor Lee is a 7th generation Tennessean, the 50th governor of the state of Tennessee. He was raised in Franklin, where he still resides today with his wife Maria on his family farm. He's the proud father of 4 adult children and 8 grandchildren. You got me beat by 3. I envy you, because my grandchildren are everything. Since becoming governor in 2019, Governor Lee has focused on several priorities, including quality education, economic development, supporting families, and public safety, all with a particular focus on the accelerated transformation of rural Tennessee. Additionally, Tennessee was named the #1 best financially managed state in the country the best business climate in the U.S., number one in the nation for advanced industry job growth, and the best state for small business growth. Since Governor Lee took office, the state has garnered 272 project commitments to create almost 40,000 jobs and $12.9 billion in capital investment in Tennessee. The Governor and First Lady are very strong people of faith. They are involved in numerous faith-based ministries which have taken them all over the world to serve people in need, including in Africa, Haiti, Central America, and Middle East. Governor Lee is a very strong supporter and appreciative of first responders and Homeland Security. I have heard him in numerous addresses that he's made talking about the individuals who lay their life on the line every day for the citizens of Tennessee. He has been struck by the dedication of first responders at several of our major events, as Senator Massey says, across our state in the last year. It's my honor now to get to introduce to you for the keynote address, Governor Bill Lee.
Thank you, sir. Thanks, Senator, for making sure this happens. And rather than keynote address, I just want to make a few comments on what is a very important, somber, significant event for me and for my wife, Maria. First, I want to say to the families of those who have lost a loved one in this last year, who served me and every one of the 7 million people in this state. We hope that this recognition is in some way a token of our deep felt gratitude, but nothing we say or do can replace or can fully understand the pain and the loss and the difficulty and the struggle that you have borne in this last year as a result of the sacrifice and the loss of your loved one in service of our state. We recognize that. Nothing can eradicate, nothing can equal. But I am a strong believer that God is a redeemer, and he uses the worst and most tragic things in the life of the people, even of a state, to show us things we would not have known otherwise. And I trust that that redemption will be part of the story of your loved one's life, because not only will they not be forgotten, but they will be remembered as part of the fabric of what makes this country the greatest country in the world. And we appreciate your presence here, the opportunity that we have to honor them, and the thread in that fabric that your loved one plays, that is, in fact, bitter and sweet, but a ultimately beautiful fabric that you are part of today. So we thank you very much, and our hearts go out to you again today, and we do hope that this is in some way honoring to you. To the men and women that are here, that are law enforcement officers, firefighters, first responders, thank you. It's evident in a ceremony like this that you and your coworkers, in fact, risk your lives for the protection and the security and the safety of Tennesseans. And there are 7 million of us who know that without you, law, order, danger, tragedy would not, the aversion to those would not exist were it not for you. I also am grateful for the fact that our professionals, first responders, firefighters, law enforcement, many times are what I would call the intersection of tragedy and hope. You are the ones who arrive at the moment of need and have the opportunity to give more than just help to the people that you serve. And I've seen it time and time again over the short years that I've had to be in this role that I'm in, and to witness up close and firsthand in ways that I never saw or witnessed before, that intersection, what you professionals bring to a moment of crisis. For that, I'm deeply grateful. We hope that today is in some way an honor. I know that today is incredibly important for the history of our state. We're 225 years old this year, our state is. We're celebrating that statehood throughout the year, and we're calling it Untold Tennesseans. The celebration of everyday heroes throughout our history, not the ones that are necessarily in the history books or that are big public figures that people will recognize throughout time, but the everyday heroes that make up the people of the greatest state in the country. And your loved ones who we honor and recognize today are everyday heroes who are a part of the celebration of why I am proud to live in this state and proud to live among heroes. I'm proud to honor appropriately those who need to be honored. I ask for, even this morning, and again now, and in the days ahead, the nearness of God in your life, the peace that surpasses understanding. May His favor rest on your family as you walk through the deepest of difficult seasons in ways that only He can. Honored to be here today. Thank you.
At this time, Governor Lee, Senator Massey, and Commissioner Long will present the 3 Stars of Tennessee Awards. The first one goes to Officer Christopher Scotty Triplett from the Memphis Police Department. Officer Scotty Triplett died in the line of duty while performing a motorcycle escort for the Memphis Police Department. On May 22, 2021, Officer Triplett and his shift member were escorting a caravan of vehicles on the east side of town when a motorist turned in front of Officer Triplett. He was transported to the Region 1 Trauma Center where he succumbed to his injuries. Officer Triplett was a 28-year veteran of the Memphis Police Department where he served as a motor officer for 11 years. Scotty was described not only as a great officer, but also a great husband, father, friend, and artist. He is survived by his wife and 2 children. Receiving the award on behalf of Officer Triplett is his wife, Fran Triplett. Chief Ronald or Ronnie Jean Spitzer of the Rocky Top Fire Department. Chief Spitzer was dispatched to a call for medical service at 8:01 a.m. on December 11, 2020. It was later determined that the patient with whom he came in contact was positive for COVID-19, and it was on this call that Chief Spitzer contracted the virus. Sadly, he succumbed to the virus on Wednesday, January 13th of 2021. He was a lifelong firefighter and community servant with over 47 years of service. He was an asset to the city, a brother to those with whom he served, and a friend to everyone he met. The loss is deeply felt by the community, as he was respected and loved by all. He is survived by his wife of 42 years and his two children. Receiving the award on behalf of Chief Spitzer is his wife, Sandra Spitzer. Deputy Jeremy Smith of the Shelby County Sheriff's Office. Correctional Deputy Jeremy Smith died of complications after contracting COVID-19 during an outbreak among employees and inmates at the Shelby County Jail. He was diagnosed with the virus on April 14th and passed away on April 21st of 2020. Jeremy had been employed by the Shelby County Sheriff's Office since 2007 and was admired and respected by his co-workers. Jeremy also loved to cook for his friends and family, and it was said of him that he never met a stranger and everyone was always welcome. His mother was quoted as saying that everyone that knew him loved him because he was such a giving person. Receiving the award on behalf of Deputy Jeremy Smith is his mother, Sharon Smith. Captain Anthony Jackson of the Shelby County Sheriff's Office. Correctional Captain Anthony Jackson died of complications after contracting COVID-19 during an outbreak among employees and inmates at the Shelby County Jail. He was diagnosed with the virus on December 12th and passed away on December 25th, 2020. Captain Jackson was a veteran of the United States Marine Corps and had been with the Shelby County Sheriff's Office for 24 years. He was one of the creators of the jail Special Operations Unit, where he served as commander. Captain Jackson was very influential in the implementation of riot control training, emergency response units, and the honor guard units. Captain Jackson married his junior high school sweetheart, Cynthia Jackson. They were blessed with 3 children, Anthony Jr., Aisha, and Emmanuel. Captain Jackson loved spending time with his grandkids and enjoyed the simple things in life. Family is what he knew, and he left a lasting impression on anyone that ever met him. Receiving the award on behalf of Captain Jackson's are his sons Anthony Jr. and Emmanuel. Deputy Sheriff Ray William McCrary, Jr. of the Shelby County Sheriff's Office. Deputy Ray McCrary died from complications as a result of contracting COVID-19 while on duty. Deputy McCrary worked in the Civil Levy Division where he was in contact with the public daily. He tested positive for the virus on July 1st and passed away on July 20th of 2021. Ray was a talented athlete in his youth and was a nationally recruited all-state high school football star, ultimately deciding to play for Memphis State. He was also a talented brick mason who crafted many brick structures for his family and friends. Ray began his career with the Shelby County Sheriff's Office in 1997. To his work colleagues, he was known as a dependable guy who you wanted on your side when things got tough. But mostly, Ray was a family man who loved to spend time with his children and grandchildren, enjoying the simple things in life, and he will be greatly missed. Deputy McCrary's family was not able to attend today, and receiving the award on behalf of Deputy McCrary is Chief Inspector John Mills, the Shelby County Sheriff's Office. Patrolman Toby Kaiser from the Knox County Sheriff's Office. Officer Toby Kaiser contracted the COVID-19 virus while on duty. He was hospitalized and making progress on his recovery and was looking forward to coming back to work when he took a turn for the worse and could not recover. He passed away on January 18th of 2021. Toby Kaiser lived a life of public service. He proudly and honorably served in the Navy and the Army National Guard. He served as a patrolman for the Knox County Sheriff's Department for 28 years before retiring in 2017 and then returning to rejoin the Sheriff's Office as a warrants officer in October of 2020. He will be remembered for his kind and generous heart and his willingness to step up and to do things that no one else wanted to do. Toby lovingly donated a kidney to his sister in 2003. He was an ultramarathon runner, loved to be on the water sailing, and was known as an avid Bigfoot enthusiast. Toby is survived by his wife and 4 children, and receiving the award on behalf of Officer Kaiser is his wife, Jill Kaiser. Officer Bobby R. Montgomery, the Memphis Police Department. Officer Montgomery contracted the COVID-19 virus upon transporting a female prisoner to jail in late July. The prisoner tested positive for COVID-19, and 2 days after the transport, Officer Montgomery began to have symptoms. After a long battle, he passed away on August the 16th of 2020. Officer Montgomery started his career with the Memphis Police Department on July 28, 2003, as a member of the Basic Police Recruiting Session. He proudly served the citizens of Memphis for over 17 years. His work ethic, dedication, and professionalism earned him numerous Officer of the Month awards and the Tillman Station Officer of the Year Award for 1998 and in 2006. Officer Montgomery served as a crisis intervention team officer and was trained to deal with mentally challenged individuals. His stellar career and service epitomized the life of a servant leader. Receiving the award on behalf of Officer Montgomery are his daughters, Madison and Maya. Thank you. Could we get a round of applause, please, for our 3 Stars of Tennessee Award recipients? Thank you. We will now transition to the second of today's 2 ceremonies, and we will honor our 2021 first responders who were nominated by their Homeland Security District or state agency. From Homeland Security District 2, Dispatcher Amanda Johnston from the Loudoun County E911 is being presented a Governor's Certificate of Appreciation for exceptional support to Homeland Security District 2 for action she took on January 8, 2021. Amanda took a call from a 911 call from a subject who stated he needed help because he was lost. The caller was confused and in distress. While dispatching an officer to the scene, Amanda was able to simultaneously determine the caller's home address and contacted local authorities who confirmed that the man had just been reported missing. Amanda was then able to speak with the family, and the man's son was able to leave immediately to come pick him up. She did all of this while the dispatched officer was still en route to the scene. Dispatcher Johnston's quick thinking and willingness to go above and beyond to help someone in need is deserving of this award. Investigators Brandon Glover and Brandon Stryker from the Knoxville Police Department. Both of these Brandons are being presented a Governor's Certificate of Appreciation for exceptional support to Homeland District 2 for their outstanding work in interdicting a violent drug gang. Investigators Glover and Stryker led an intense and lengthy investigation into the unknown Vice Lords gang that was responsible for violence and drug distribution in eastern Tennessee. In July, evidence presented in federal court in Knoxville resulted in guilty verdicts for 8 defendants that were charged with distributing kilogram quantities of methamphetamine and other dangerous drugs in the Knoxville and Chattanooga areas. An additional 7 defendants pleaded guilty prior to trial. This investigation required a high level of investigative, logistical, and management skill on the parts of both of these investigators as they led this multi-agency effort across several jurisdictions. Their efforts have resulted in dismantling a violent criminal conspiracy and made for safer communities across East Tennessee. This next award will honor 6 police officers from the Metro Nashville Police Department. They become known as the Nashville Six: Sergeant Timothy Miller, Officer Tyler Llewellyn, Officer Amanda Topping, Officer Brenda Hosey, Officer James Wells, and Officer Michael Sipos. These 6 officers are being presented a Certificate of Appreciation for exceptional support to Homeland District 5 for their actions taken on Christmas morning of 2020. That morning, Officers Llewellyn, Hosey, Toppy, Wells, and Sipos, along with their sergeant, Tim Miller, responded to a call of gunfire on 2nd Avenue North in downtown Nashville. As Officer Llewellyn arrived on the scene, he noticed an RV parked on the side of the street adjacent to a large building. And when Officer Hosey arrived moments later, eerie announcements, seemingly computer-generated, began emanating from the speaker system on the RV. The instructions were ominous, saying that there was a large bomb in the RV and to evacuate. Officers Llewellyn and Hosey knew they had to immediately begin the evacuation of 2nd Avenue residents, as well as seal off the immediate area from any vehicular traffic. They called in additional officers, and Sergeant Miller and Officer Sipos, Wells, and Topping very quickly responded. As these 6 officers went door to door to evacuate the apartment residents and short-term rental visitors, the speaker system inside the RV shifted to a countdown. A powerful bomb detonated inside the RV at 6:30 a.m., leaving massive devastation on 2nd Avenue North. Some of the officers before you here were knocked to the ground by the blast. Officer Wells has experienced some hearing loss. He credits God with turning him around to walk away from the RV instead of continuing to approach it. And in the immediate aftermath of the explosion, these officers did not know the fate of each other. And after learning that each was okay, and despite what they had just endured, they continued to serve the city of Nashville by keeping people away from the immediate area out of concern for secondary devices. And they remained on scene hours after the explosion. Miraculously, due to the quick and calm thinking of these officers, no one perished in the explosion other than the bomb maker who was inside the RV. The Metro Nashville Police Department, the City of Nashville, the state of Tennessee, and the people around this nation are exceptionally proud of these officers for their service and dedication to public safety. Thank you. It is rare that that one of these awards is given to an entire department, but that is what is happening next here with the Nashville Fire Department. But the circumstances surrounding the Christmas Day bombing in Nashville are certainly unique. The Nashville Fire Department is being presented a Governor's Certificate of Appreciation for their exceptional support to Homeland Security District 5 and for their actions taken on Christmas Day of 2020. As I mentioned before, at 6:30 a.m., a bomb exploded on 2nd Avenue North, causing catastrophic damage. Nashville Fire responded immediately, and their initial actions were to identify the blast zone, establish perimeters, assist with evacuations, and conduct a primary search and rescue operations. They did an exemplary job of the task before them. Hazardous material teams conducted background checks to rule out an improvised radiation explosive device and use multi-gas monitors to monitor the atmospheric conditions. Nashville Fire Department personnel worked tirelessly for hours to comb through the debris and to perform secondary searches in the freezing cold temperatures of that December morning. And in the hours and days that followed, Nashville Fire was tasked with providing personnel, resources, and equipment to assist the federal partners such as the FBI and the ATF with their investigation. For the department-wide response to this extraordinary event, this certificate is being presented to the Nashville Fire Department, and in accepting on behalf of the department is Chief William Swan. From Homeland Security District 7, Ed Hogan from the Cheatham County Emergency Management is being presented a Governor's Certificate of Appreciation for exceptional support to Homeland District 7 for his service as the Emergency Management Director for Cheatham County. Ed has been there for almost 28 years and has served as the fire chief for 21 years. On November 11th of 2020, Cheatham County government cut the ribbon on a new fire station located in the Petway community, which is a rural area of Cheatham County. Ed acted as the contractor during the building of that station, and he helped secure the donations of land, time, and resources for the construction of the firehouse. Ed spent countless hours of his own time completing the work on the station. Thanks to his hard work and dedication, he saved the county over $300,000. And the citizens of the Petway community will benefit greatly because of the faster response times for emergencies. Mr. Hogan is enthusiastic about his job, and he works hard to ensure that the citizens of Cheatham County have adequate fire and emergency services all across the county. Sergeant Eric Trout from the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office is being presented a Governor's Certificate of Appreciation for his exceptional support to Homeland District 7 for actions taken on April 6th of 2021 when Sergeant Trout responded to a shooting in progress. He arrived on the scene and found a person with a gunshot wound to the chest. Seeing the person in a declining condition, he applied chest seals to the entrance and exit wounds. Sergeant Trout's actions prolonged the person's life for EMS to arrive and to stabilize and then transport him for advanced care. For his bravery, quick thinking, and life-saving care, Sergeant Trout is being awarded this Governor's Certificate of Appreciation. From Homeland Security District 11, Major Terrence Jackson of the Memphis Police Department is being presented a Governor's Certificate of Appreciation for his exceptional support to Homeland District 11, for his outstanding leadership of the Memphis Police Department's Special Operations Units. Major Jackson works with citizens, community leaders, and other agencies as he skillfully coordinates the command and control for numerous special events in Memphis. He often oversees security at events and venues that include thousands of participants and/or spectators. Major Jackson is a 38-year veteran of the Memphis Police Department and is described as a selfless, hardworking, and performance-oriented manager. Thank you. From the Shelby County Fire Department, 3 people are being honored with this next award: Lieutenant Adrian Flagg, firefighter Quentin Johnson, and firefighter Jeremy Roberts. These 3 firefighters are being presented a Governor's Certificate of Appreciation for exceptional support to Homeland Security District 11 for their actions taken on February 13th of 2021. On that day, Shelby County Fire was dispatched to Moose Road in the unincorporated area of North Shelby County for a 17-year-old patient that had been injured by a hay spike on a tractor. The injury occurred while the patient was sledding during a heavy snowstorm. The units responded to the scene and found that the patient had been impaled on a 46-inch long and approximately 2-inch round hay spike that entered the victim's left lower chest and exited out of his neck and shoulder area. The responders rendered aid to include stabilization measures. Unfortunately, the spike was attached to a tractor, and they had to work for a long time to remove it. After several tries, a rescue plan was initiated by using a rescue saw with water to cool the metal, which resulted in a successful separation of the spike from the tractor. Once the cut was complete on the hay spike, the patient was then moved to a transport vehicle since the weather was too poor for a helicopter transport. The Shelby County Sheriff's Office assisted by blocking the intersections during the transport to the hospital. The patient was transported to Region 1 Trauma Center in Memphis, where he was taken into surgery to remove the spike. This young man made a full recovery and recently just graduated from high school. And now from the Tennessee Bureau of Investigations, we're going to honor Special Agent and Forensic Scientist Heather Lindsay and Kenna Isett. They are both being presented a Governor's Certificate of Appreciation for their actions taken in the aftermath of the Christmas Day bombing in Nashville. Early responses to the activities on the Christmas Day bomb centered around ensuring the safety of Nashville citizens and assessing the immediate damage. On Saturday, December 26th, focus shifted primarily towards identifying the culprit. Apparent human tissue was found at the bomb site, and the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation was tasked with confirming that the tissue was human, developing a DNA profile from that tissue, and matching that DNA profile to a potential perpetrator. Special Agent and Forensic Scientist Heather Lindsay and Kenna Isett were brought in from their holiday to begin unraveling the puzzle. Heather began the initial DNA testing on the unknown tissue sample collected at the bombing scene, and meanwhile, Kenna deployed to search the suspect's vehicle, identified and collected potentially probative evidence from that vehicle, and returned those to the TBI crime lab to begin the DNA analysis. Heather was able to develop a DNA profile from the tissue sample at the bombing scene and compare that to DNA evidence collected by Kenna from the suspect's vehicle. At approximately 1 a.m. on December 27th, a report was issued confirming the DNA match, which led to the positive identification of the suspect. Special Agent Forensic Scientist Heather Lindsay and Kenna Iset's dedication to their duty, their specialized investigative and analytical knowledge, and their perseverance to complete the task combined to quickly identify the perpetrator and provide some peace of mind to the citizens of Nashville. Thank you. At this time, just please recognize all of our distinguished honorees for their service to Tennessee. Thank you to all of you who joined us here in person today, and also those of you who are joining us online. I would like to once again thank the Hermitage Hills Baptist Church for making this venue available, and I'd also like to recognize Candace Tate from my office, who works tirelessly to put this event together. This concludes the 2021 Three Stars of Tennessee Award and First Responder Recognition Ceremony. Thank you so much for attending.